Hello, everyone. Good evening once again, and welcome to another edition of Elixonn Half Hour. My name is Michael Oyetunji, and as usual, I'm your host for today's episode. So, last edition, about 2 weeks ago, we talked about upskilling personal digital skills in a rapidly evolving job market. And it's when we got the feedback from uh, people around and people that attended, we found out that it's something we should do again and bring back our guests. So thankfully, we looked within and we saw that we could get our guests back on the show today, and we are here to engage with you again and go through some of the things we talked about now in details, and just wrap up with with what we feel is useful and okay for you to hear. It's going to be very interactive today because we are very much prepared to take questions more than we did the last time, and I want to appreciate you for coming over again today. I know we have a lot of people watching us right away, and especially on our YouTube channel. So and by the way, our YouTube channel is live and running now, so you can check us out on YouTube and see this immediately. If maybe where you're watching from is not pretty clear, but you get more, you get the very good version of this on YouTube. So not to take your time for too long today, I have the pleasure of bringing back my very good friend, to do justice to what we've been talking about, and we've been having discussions about this topic for quite a while now. We even talked about it, a few minutes ago, and then I feel that this is just what we should be talking about right now. And trust me, today is going to be exciting. I mean, I'm so excited about this already. Uche is backstage. I'm going to bring him up. So Uche Ibe is still our guest today, and in one, two, three, four, I'll bring him on stage. Hi, Uche.
Hi, Mike.
Uh,
Pleasure
good to
pleasure
have
to
you
be back.
again.
Absolutely,
So, by,
absolutely.
by by popular demand, we had to bring you back.
Yeah,
We had to bring it back. It was
yeah,
it was so exciting that we felt the sugar rush. After the program, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, this is a very good topic for us to revisit. So we are here again. Talking about upskilling, talking about the digital space, talking about changing careers, and doing what we can do with our time, talking about how the job market has evolved from the traditional way of working to what it is now. You talked about the last time that tech is evolving and there's a lot of room for on the job learning. Okay, you talked about that last edition, and I think you also said that one key strategy is for people to start from where they are. Assessing their skills and using AI tools. So, from our conversations over the past couple of days, we've been talking about the AI tools and how people can effectively get them to use to switch their careers or make a career leap. Whichever one they want to, take into consideration. So, and you said AI is a tool, and that if people don't know how to use it very well, they really won't get, judicious, use of it. So now we are here again. So let's pick up from where we started. We stopped the last time. What do you think?
yeah. Just like we had discussed, the world is moving very fast. Technology is moving very fast. There's absolutely no field of endeavor right now that doesn't have or
Mm,
require a technology related role.
mm,
And when we say technology related role, we don't mean that you have to be, what we have come to term a tech bro. It just
yeah.
means that literally every industry right now is essentially supported or aided by technology, and there's hardly any way you can have any meaningful roles right now without trying to upskill, knowing the right tools, that work within your profession.
mm,
A few days ago, I was discussing with an audiovisual engineer, and you know,
mm.
I haven't been in that space for a while, but I realized that right now, even that has gone fully tech.
Yeah,
It's fully, um, you know, it's fully, changed.
yeah,
Right
true,
now,
true. You're right.
streaming has moved from just, um, what we know as live streaming. You also now have
Yeah,
what you have cloud technologies in
yeah,
audio and visual, in the audio and visual space. So everything is changing, and right now, for you to be a very functional audiovisual engineer, you have
mm,
to have networking skills. So you can imagine how, what used to be XLR cables and
yeah, true.
cables have now changed to
Firewire,
um,
firewire cables.
exactly, and see how all of that has changed right now to networking cables, servers,
Mm,
cloud-based technologies,
mm,
and all of that. So everything is changing, and we just have to jump on the wave rather than fight it. You jump on the wave and just
yeah.
utilize it, because most of those things essentially make you a better person.
Mm.
Yeah,
Awesome. Awesome.
yeah.
So now let's look at these in context. You see, I
Mhm,
see. Someone asked a question the last time, if my memory serves me right. She she's a teacher, and she's talking
mhm,
about how she can transition. Now let's look at some few professions, like the teaching profession, like marketing, traditional marketing profession, like
mhm.
office assistant profession, and all of these professions. Let's look at it within this context, and see how now, if people want to transit from this, I mean, into a space where they can put into use their digital expertise or learn some digital skills. What are those transferable skills that we are talking about here?
So one of the things you have to do is, when you look at your role as in whatever profession that you belong to, or whatever experience that,
Mhm,
or whatever industry that you belong to, one of the things you want to do is to look at those critical skills that you
mhm,
have gained over the years. So for instance, when you're someone like a school teacher,
mm,
one of the things that's very important is communication. You should be able to communicate your ideas properly, from as a teacher to students, and understanding that there's a huge developmental gap between you, a teacher, and the students. So
mm,
it even makes communication a little bit more tedious, right? You have to be able to get the students in the right frame of mind. You have to be able to use the right examples. You have to have strategies to help them get better retention. You
mm,
also have to have creative ways to transfer the information you have to the students. So all of those are very, very, transferable skills,
mm,
than you might realize. um, so if you put that in context, for instance, you have a lot of edutech companies coming up. Edutech companies essentially are companies that create online platforms for people to get education. So you have organizations like Coursera. Coursera was recently purchased by Google. You have Allison. You have several of them, and they use a particular software called an LMS. And LMS is a learning management system.
system, yeah.
So on that LMS, there are a lot of things that go into developing an LMS. You'll be surprised that that need, or that skill called curriculum development, used
Mm,
by a school teacher, comes in that place, where you have to
mm,
be able to structure your topics in such a way that there's a gradual um, incremental assessing of knowledge, and then
mm,
gradual incremental understanding and growth in that knowledge area until the person graduates. So essentially, you see that, and then you also have to have great examples for people who want to learn. You have to have grading systems. You have to have ways to improve the retention of the learners and all that. And that's because learning has also become something that's universally needed right now. Everybody needs to upskill, everybody needs to learn something new, everybody
mm,
needs to, get a new certificate, or, try to move and all of that. So you now see that, for instance, what you had limited yourself to as just being a school teacher, you
mm,
realize you have, humongous opportunities in the tech space, because I mean LMS is here to stay. I said the other day that right now, micro credentials have become very, very important because of how much information is being developed and how, careers are evolving.
mm,
So everyone now has to scale up on the job, right? Most organizations have a budget right now for self development for, most of their staff. So all that goes back to teaching and learning. So that school teacher can transition very comfortably to any of those kind of tech roles in instruction design. You could do
mm,
curriculum design, you could do training manuals, you could do instructional design. There's so much of that. Luckily, recently I was speaking to someone who is in the consulting space, but particularly for mental health models,
mm,
and and mental health models. For instance, they have a model that they use to train and then to help people, resolve those mental health issues. And one of the key roles that they require is what they call a knowledge transfer expert or
mm.
a knowledge management expert. So what the person does is the person takes all their information required for those models or those frameworks used to, teach mental health principles and all of that, and put that in such a way that when you come on that information, you can understand and then gradually make progress in that information, or rather on that particular field, or
Yeah,
that
okay.
particular field of learning. So you see also that knowledge transfer, knowledge management, and all of that is also something that has become super, useful. That's also something that's also a very thriving role in non-profits.
Mm,
So what am I saying essentially, is that you need to boil down what those basic skills that
skills.
make, your career what your career is, and
Mm,
then find places where those skills are needed. And then when you transfer those skills to your new role, you are now going to look at what else do you need to thrive in the new role.
mm,
That's where you now need to upskill. So forget about what everybody's saying. Everybody doesn't have to be a scrum master. Everybody doesn't have to be a web designer, a front end engineer, or a back end a developer.
yeah.
Everybody doesn't have to learn all those Python and C++. Everyone doesn't have to be, those cloud architects and all of that. But you could take what you have and say, look at what is needed, in other adjacent fields, and then leverage on those, look at those gaps, look at what you have, that is useful in those places, then look at those gaps and then try to fill out those gaps, and boom, you create new opportunities for yourself.
Awesome. Awesome, Uche. I didn't want to cut your thoughts because I knew you were getting somewhere. Now,
Yeah.
I want us to, I'll pick you up on what you said on adjacent, careers, if I may use that word loosely, here. Now, I just want to say this to our audience. Now, we have we want to do something today, so we are not really in a rush because I discussed with Uche and then also with the team. I feel like we should, give it some little time, so we may extend maybe 10-15 minutes beyond our normal time today. Even though we are called Elixon half hour, we could take, a quarter of an hour again to join in. So I hope we don't change it to Elixon 45 minutes later or something. So, but I mean, let's just, it's because this need is so peculiar that we, apart from doing this as an organization, we have people that have real life needs for these things. People that, for instance, I know many people. In fact, I have interacted with a lot of people. There was someone I was interacting with recently, about 2 months ago, that I had to help transition into another phase of her career. She did monitoring and evaluation. Did I mean, she worked like maybe 7 years with NGOs in Nigeria before she came to this place. And when she got to the UK, she got stuck. She didn't know
Mhm.
what to do. So
Yeah.
after a conversation and every other thing, I we now saw where her expertise lied, and how she was able to, and I tell you, I kid you not, within 3 weeks she got two interview opportunities, and she got one of them. I mean, I think I shared it with you.
Yes, you
She
did.
got
You
she
did.
got one of them, and she called me back like, "What magic did you do?" I said, "No, I just sat down with you and I talked with you." So, and I by the time I finished talking with her, I told her, "Try this, try this, try this, try this." So I'm just not going into details because she might be watching this program now. So now, our audience, I want you to please feel free, drop in your questions as we move on, because I told Uche that we're going to do a demo, possibly if we see someone who has a CV, or who wants to transition into a career, and you feel like we can work with your resume. You can just send a message to Ross, or just signify on the comment section, and then we'll pick it up from there before we get to the meaty section of the conversation today, because we want to talk about real life issues and use real life people. But beyond that, we still have some other examples that we can use right now. Okay, so if I'm just going to give the next 5 minutes for you to reach out to us, if you feel you want us to use your current situation right now, or where you are, to do this learning, we can do it. We'll open our screen. Uche can share his screen. We'll use AI, tell you what you can do, at least as an advice. And Uche, what do you think about what I just said now?
Yeah, I was going to interrupt you to give you two examples, two life examples of two people I had also counseled with. After our conversations last time, a friend of mine reached out to me. She's a PhD candidate currently in a university somewhere in Europe, and she was telling me, oh, how she wants a job and all of that. That that should she stay in the field that she's in, or should she leave? And I told her, you see, the truth is, you are really not far from what you
Mm,
need already.
mm,
You just need to, like I said, fill out the gaps and all of that. And we did a quick analysis, and we found out, because she's currently studying something related to sustainable
development.
design,
Okay.
and we did a quick analysis and found out that there's quite some opportunity around so what they call energy analysts and sustainable analysts, and after discussing with her, she found out that um, there were a lot of those tools that she was already currently using. Right,
Mm,
she has some skills with data analysis,
mm,
in analyzing her research data, and then that particular skill she has around research and scientific investigation, you know, places her in that position to be, to leverage that opportunity. And when we did some search, we saw roles between 80,000 US dollars to almost 130,000 US dollars,
mm.
and she was literally blown out of the water. In fact, there was a particular role that was looking for PhD candidates.
Wow.
So that's just to show you, how these opportunities exist. But sometimes, we just narrow our minds down. I also have a friend we had. She's also moving out of Nigeria soon. Um, and her background is in law, and she was like, oh, she wants to move into tech. And I told her, see, you don't have to make that huge step into tech. I'm not saying that if that's what you want, you can't do it, but you don't have to.
Mm,
And then I began to explain to her how, just by being a lawyer, by virtue of being a lawyer, you're exposed to skills in writing. You write a
yeah.
lot, you do a lot of research, because you have to do that for cases. You have to write all your legal drafts and all of that. So I said, it's a very great opportunity for you to explore
Mm,
analysis, and drafts, and that's because policy is backed up also by law. So I told her, see, you don't have to make that huge step into technology. You can look at what things are needed for you to position yourself as a research analyst or policy analyst, and stuff like that. And
mm,
I sent her a few courses, and I told her, see, if you could do this, I'm pretty sure when you arrive, you could be earning as much as £30,000 or £35,000.
mm,
So that's just to show you, like I said, we have those skills. It's just sometimes, um, what's close to you, you might not value. Or
mm.
what you're already used to, you might not value, or you already had a narrow way of looking at your skills. But the truth is, those skills are very broad and they could be used in several other adjacent skills. There's a particular tool I've been trying to look at. I will finalize it in a bit. I'm sure while we wait for those resumes, I'll be able to tidy it up. It's a LinkedIn tool. Um, I mentioned it in the last episode.
Okay.
I would suggest it also for people who are interested to be able to take a look at it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's fine. I mean, that takes us somewhere. And I don't know why we await that. I think we should just take this resume, what we have, because we when we did our research, we found out that we could, use one or two people's, stuff. So let's just look at what we have now while we await anyone from the audience to give us their so that we can learn from it, right?
sure,
Should I
sure.
maybe I should share my screen for us to get this. And hang on, please.
Okay.
Um, okay. I think what I need to do is to um, bring it up as a slide. Okay. Let me just
Mhm.
let me just share my screen. Yeah. 1 minute, please. Window. Okay.
Okay.
So are we here now?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. Absolutely. So now, I'm sure viewers can see this right now. So let's just take a swipe at this and see how we can review this. Now we have this person. Of course, we didn't put the name, so there's no need to talk about. Now, this person is a dedicated educator with 5 years of teaching experience across two diverse schools, complemented by a year of experience as an office manager, secretary, demonstrating strong administrative capabilities and organizational skills. So now, okay, she worked from 2019 to 2024. That's 2020. That's about 5 years, right?
Hmm.
As a teacher, 1 year as an office manager. Okay, she has classroom instruction, administrative management, organizational skills, effective communication. Okay, so now, Uche, if we have such a person like this in the audience, which I believe we should have. So what do we do? This person, what do you think can be this person's transfer window of opportunity? Let me use that word.
Okay, so it's interesting actually. The transfer window is closing today.
Mm.
So let's hope the person can make the transfer quickly before the window closes. Anyway,
Okay,
that's just
sorry.
it.
I think somebody just put in the comment section. How can this be of help to me as a teacher? Oh, beautiful. And we're just talking about in the early year foundation stage. And what tech support would you advise I dive into in relations to what is obtainable in the Western world? Thank you. Okay. I mean, this is just a perfect. Thank you. You are in the spirit. Thank you, the meetup. Thank you for this. Now, so Uche, this just falls very well in line with what we have been talking about. I mean, this
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely will. So we have a real world question now, and then coupled with what we put on the screen. What do we think? So let's use this question. Let
So
me put this question on the screen for us to see.
okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So just like we said, it's I think maybe if we take a swipe at this resume and then put in some work, I think this it should help solve this person's dilemma.
Okay.
It would be very hands-on, and then the person could also always take a look at what we're saying, and then maybe we make some comments afterwards. Is that okay?
Okay. Okay. Fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So
So I mean, of course, you can get this information right from your end. This the CV.
myself,
Yes.
uh
Yeah. I
give
think
me
it's
a
same
minute.
link. Yeah.
Give me a minute. Yeah, I think I should have access to
Okay.
that. Just give me 1 minute. Just 1 minute. All right. So
Okay.
so do you want me to share my screen, or how do you want us
Yes.
to do this?
Yes. Yes. That'll be fine. Um.
All
And
right.
I'm trying to stop screen. Okay.
Okay. So I can share, right?
Yeah.
Share screen. Okay. Screen two, I think. Okay. All right. So we are good to go. Is my screen
Yeah.
clear?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So yeah. So essentially, what you do is we're going to copy this resume.
Can you make your screen a bit? Can you increase the
Okay. Okay. Let
font?
me
Yeah.
just
Just make it
zoom.
a bit
Yeah. Let
bigger.
me increase the. I get what you mean. I think it's a little too. Yeah.
Okay.
Should be a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Awesome. So essentially, we copy all of that information, right? You go to
Yeah.
ChatGPT. I
Not
mean,
all.
there's
I mean, there are two profiles there.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes. We have two profiles. So let's work with the first profile.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
and that's here. Yeah. So now there's several AI tools that one could use. So you could work with. I work with GPT a lot, so I rather just use what I'm familiar with. I know there are several other tools. Google has a tool,
Yeah.
Microsoft has a tool, and there are several of them. So I'm gonna paste my resume. I think I should also zoom here so that this has better, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now I've pasted it, and I'm gonna give my prompt. My prompt is going to be act as a prof- professional.
Okay, so Uche, for clarity, so what I want us
Yeah.
to take away from this now is, so now
Mm-hmm.
our audience, let's just take this, into consideration. So what we are
Mm-hmm.
doing, what Uche is doing right now, is to give a prompt to the AI,
Mm-hmm.
to the assistant, okay, the AI assistant to do this. So you tell the AI assistant what to do, and that's what Uche is doing right away. Okay,
Yeah.
so just take note of that, while move on. Continue, please, Uche.
Yes. So, like I said, we're going to essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to tell AI to tell us what are 10 roles that this resume, you or the owner of this resume can fit into.
mm,
And then we're going to tell AI to rank those roles in order of greatest strength based on those skills that are in the resume, and then rank them by percentage. So
okay.
act as a professional HR expert uh, uh, to assess this resume and recommend 10 roles the person can fit into, and rank them by percentage. So we can go from highest
Mm,
to lowest. Okay.
mm,
So let's see what ChatGPT tells us. Good.
mm,
Good. So you can see that's giving us about, okay, still going. Good. Now, sorry about that. So is it clear? Yeah, I think it's
yeah, yeah,
quite
yeah,
clear
yeah.
here. Yeah. So you can see it has given us about 10 roles. Has given us admin assistant at 95%,
Mm,
office manager at 90%, executive assistant, um, where was I? Sorry.
school
Executive
administrator.
assistant,
Yeah.
yeah, a school administrator coordinator, um, curriculum developer,
Mm. And you talked
teacher.
about this curriculum development, with the LMS,
Exactly,
you know.
exactly. So you have curriculum developer. You also have human resource assistant. You have operations coordinator and event coordinator. Now, like I said, this is one part that is different from what the person is used to, which is the curriculum developer, right?
Mm, yeah.
Good. So let us. So we could tell ChatGPT, say, we could tell it just to further give us more options around curriculum developer.
Mm,
List 10 roles, or we could let's do this instead. Let's say um, recommend another 10 tech related roles
mm,
that the profile, yes, profile can fit into, and rank them by percentage. So now it's going to give us tech related roles,
mm.
and then you would see,
Mm.
you see, good. So now it's giving us some roles, right? You can see technical support specialist.
Mm,
Now, this is a strong fit due to the candidate's problem solving skills, communication abilities, and ability to handle administrative tasks.
mm,
So you see, we are the ones who see those skills as, you see them streamlined in just one place. But here you can see that you could offer technical support in the tech industry if you have good communication skills and you have good problem solving skills. Now, one of
mm,
the things people don't know, like I've said before, in tech related skills is that pretty much everything you kind of learn on the go. For instance, in tech support, one of the things also that you learn along the line is you you have what they call an SLA that you work with. An SLA is called a service level agreement. Those service level agreements tell you what to do when you encounter a problem at
mm.
each stage. So
Yeah.
it's really not as hard as people think it is. It's like, oh, when a person encounters this kind of issue, this is what you should recommend. If a
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
further has this issue, then recommend this. When it becomes too tough, in technical support
Yeah,
roles,
you have a
you have
second line. Yeah, you have
exactly, you
line.
have a
Yeah,
second
exactly.
line and then you have a
True,
third line. So
true.
once you enter as an entry level, you just tell once it's something you can handle that's way above, your service level agreements or your playbook,
Yeah.
your help desk
I
playbook.
mean, sorry Uche, to cut you to say this.
Go ahead.
When I first moved into to the UK, my first job I got was a customer service job. And what did I
Absolutely.
do when I interviewed for the role? I just saw that I've been a businessman all my life. I relate with customers. I can
Absolutely.
talk to customers. I mean, I know how to. I mean, I was a travel consultant back home. Doing that at a very for a very greater part of my life. So I now saw that I could use these skills, and when I interviewed for the role, I came out as the top candidate for that role. In fact, it was the only interview I did in that field that got me the job. And when I got the job, when I was doing my induction, we had about a month training. It was a franchise, supermarket franchise all over the UK, Morrison's,
Mhm.
quite a big one. So, and when I was doing it, I just found out that there are things I could do, solving people's problems, asking how you doing, and I became like the star of the whole show. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
So after a month, when I finished in a month, I packaged my CV, put everything I did in that place. The second month, another company poached me. I told you about
Yeah,
this now.
yeah, you
They
did.
poached me,
Yes, you did.
and I worked for that company for about 8 months. You know,
Yeah.
because they are into chemicals, buildings, and all of that. And I worked in the query resolution department. Because that was where I fit. And I was so what you said about SLA, made me to. So we have agreed ways of working. When we can't solve
Absolutely.
an issue, we pass it up to the high, person involved, or we just, talk it out amongst ourselves and
Yeah.
get a solution to it. So you're making sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, like, just like you said, and that's what we don't, those are some of the things that we assume that because, oh, we're not familiar with some kind of international grade
Mm,
things, or, these aren't stuff we can handle. But you see, the truth is, um, in foreign climes, they place a lot of premium on soft skills. Soft skills
mm,
are so important. And why that is because a lot of all these other skills that we look at, things like how to use software or how to manage clients and all of that, those soft skills sometimes cannot be taught.
yeah.
It's almost like it's almost like an energy.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you have to go through series of training, behavioral training, for you to get some really good soft skills. So sometimes, we are the ones who downplay on those soft skills, but they are very, very, very useful. Knowing how to manage clients, knowing how to manage customers, having great communication skills, being able
Mm,
to work as a team, all of
yeah.
those things, are very, very key, in certain roles, and your experience when in foreign climes they see your experience, you know when they see your experience, over the years in those kind of engagements, they are
Mm,
sure that you have the required skills to manage people, to manage customers, and to solve problems. So
mm,
they now know that you have the raw material, and then what they now need to do is give you training in that niche industry that they are in, and they know that you are going to be a high flyer.
yeah.
So just like we've said, at least a couple of them that we can look at. You have e-learning developer. Curriculum design skills are relevant but the candidate would need to learn specific e-learning development tools and technologies, which is
Mm,
exactly what I told you. You also have high up LMS, learning management system administrator. Teaching background combined with tech savviness will transition well into managing online learning platforms. So you see that you have a lot of very good roles. You have edtech consultants, combining teaching experience with technology. This role will leverage the candidate's knowledge of education and curriculum design. So we could take
you,
any of these
you even have
roles.
social media manager down.
Absolutely, absolutely. We do have social media manager because
Yeah.
communication is important for social
Yeah.
media.
Yeah.
Organization skills are important for social media and all of that. So those are very, very important options. You even have a CRM administrator. A CRM
Mm-hmm.
administrator essentially is customer relations management. And because
Yeah.
you have good, strong communication skills, being able to talk to students, talk to children, communicate your ideas, they are very sure that you build a relationship with your customer. So you can now distribute to project management where people put in tickets. Oh, this is my problem with such and such, and you can now distribute to who needs to solve what problem, and you can answer all those questions courteously.
Mm-hmm.
So, but definitely you need to learn, CRM systems and all of that. So yeah, so essentially those are some roles. So the person we could look at, say, um, we could look at, say, EdTech consultant, and LMS administrator. So what we could do next would be, let's do EdTech consultant. EdTech consultant, or let's just do curriculum. So we can. So the next thing, let's pick one of them. Let's go back up here and pick curriculum developer, right?
Okay.
Now, when we pick curriculum developer, we tell ChatGPT. So what we're trying to do now is, now we found out the roles that we can fit in. You look at which of them you feel you like most, or something you think you can fit in easily, or something you feel more comfortable with. And then the next thing you want to do is find out what the gaps are between where you are and what you need to learn. Okay. So the next
Okay.
thing you do is you say
Sorry,
list.
sorry, Uche, before you
Yeah,
move
go
on,
ahead.
I just need to inform our audience, normally we don't take, this long, but because we had to do a practical session today, we had to
Hmm.
do this, and I know the attention span and, get you staring at your screen for this long and all of it can be very daunting. So, what I'm just going to do, Uche, is just let's just take a break of 1 minute, let's just take
Okay.
a 60-second break, just stretch your leg, take water, and then let's move on with this, so we don't just take it at a stretch. Okay, we've spent
Sure.
40 minutes
Sure.
already. So I'm going to just put a countdown, a timer on it, and then we take a 1 minute, which is, sorry for cutting you, I just need to do
No
it
problem.
because you understand, we put the consideration of our audience also into
Absolutely.
to know. So please just take don't go away. Take 1 minute, and then we will be back, to get this up with. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. You're welcome back to this edition of Election Half Hour. And we are still here with Uche. So before we went on break, we were talking about how to transition from one career to an adjacent career. And then we were using the teaching profession, a teacher who has about 5 years experience, and trying to see what other roles they can do, especially in the developed world. So, and that's why we are here. So, Uche is giving us that insight, and we've been trying to see which of the roles will fit best into getting this done. So, Uche, over to you. Let's just quickly run this through and get it done. Thank you.
All right. So, like I said, the first thing we did is we instructed ChatGPT to tell us what other roles that profile, will fit into, and it has given us some options. It has ranked them based on the skills that we have, and then it has made some suggestions. So, those suggestions we have picked two, and now we want to find out what are the skill gaps between where the person is and where the person wants to find out, what those skill gaps are, and then that person can decide, where the person needs to go do some upskilling. So, like I said, we looked at curriculum developer, and we're going to try to look at what that particular role will need. So, we're going to ask ChatGPT list 10 trendy skills, 10 trendy skills and software needed for the curriculum developer role. Let's say in UK and Europe, because sometimes they have different requirements. So we could also ask ChatGPT to rank it for us, to let us know what skills are most important, and then that could help us, you know. Good, good,
Awesome.
awesome. So you can see for skills is actually telling you something about instructional design, creating expertise in creating engaging and effective learning experiences using pedagogical best practices, digital content creation. Digital content creation essentially is making videos,
Yeah.
okay, making videos, making
Graphics.
graphics and all of that. We all know that with Canva you can do a lot of that now.
Yeah.
Canva is pretty much free. Assessment
Upwork.
design,
All those things.
yeah, assessment design, designing formative and summative assessments that will align with learning objectives, learning analytics, learning how to use data to assess the effectiveness of a curriculum and adjust it based on performance metrics, inclusive education, and all that. So when you look at all of this, you now ask yourself, what in this list don't I know? That's the question. What in this list don't I know that is key to what I'm trying to learn? Another thing you can do is you can ask ChatGPT, after telling you to give it those lists of skills required, you can tell it to rank it so that you know which one you need to give a lot of focus. Now, you need to understand, if you're a teacher, you should probably already know instructional design, right? So if you're going to take another course, it's just to bring you up to maybe a global standard. Okay.
Mm.
Content creation is pretty much basic. It's something you should be able to do. If you don't know, you can learn. Assessment design, I'm also sure you'll be able to learn. Okay. So based on all of these skills, eventually when you are building up your resume, for the roles that you are looking for eventually and for the opportunities you are looking for, these are the skills you want to have on your resume.
Mm.
These are the skills that you want, because when you're doing your resume design, maybe Mike and his team would call us back. We have a conversation around, drafting a very compelling resume, that can, give you that impact, immediately. So, but one of the things you have to do is make sure that these things are right there on that resume, helping, your recruiter to see that you have the requisite skills for the role that you are looking for. So after all of
And
that, you
I'm
look at
sorry,
what you.
Uche, to add to what you said. Sorry for cutting you. You say, and also while you're preparing your resume, when you have all these skills, at the backdrop, it's going to
Mhm.
help you will begin to see yourself in these skills from the things you
Absolutely,
have done previously in other roles, and you begin to
absolutely.
put it, because if you the good thing is that some people say, oh, should I lie on my CV? No. All you need to do is because there are some things. Let me just break this table. When you are when you work in Nigeria, let me use that word. I'm sorry for saying this, but I just need to be very blunt. When you work in Nigeria, I say an office assistant, you probably are doing the work of a secretary, office assistant, social media manager. I mean, you're doing like about seven different
Customer service,
customer
customer
service,
service,
marketer. You are doing like six or seven different roles.
HR, accountant.
Yeah, you are the
bookkeeper.
accountant. You are the one they send to bank. So you are doing all of this, and you see, and that's why you see when you are able to pivot your skills on the right from the right perspective, you see that you'll be a high flyer, and that's whatever role you get into and work there, you will be a high flyer. Every of those things you've learned will just keep coming, and then if you don't know how to put it and sell it, nobody's going to blow your trumpet for you. And your CV
Absolutely.
is your first point of sale, is your POS, in career. And that's what recruiters will see too. I was talking to Uche, today we're just gisting and joking about it. I mean, regularly I see recruiters call me, send me, and he was making fun of me that, oh, I'm hot, and I mean that's what it is. They just call me. Can you do this? I was telling him I just had to, make someone, feel I'm like, I'm not going to come. Let me do. You get to a point where you become like the don, and everyone will be like, oh, why you why are you refusing jobs? And that's where we want to take you, and that's why we are right now here. So we have just some few more minutes to get this thing done. So Uche, let's just see how we can quickly get this within the next 8-10 minutes
Yeah.
thereabout.
So, like I said, I mean, I think we've done a very good job. The other thing you want to look at is software. You need to look at what software is required in your field. That's super,
Hmm.
super important.
Hmm.
And you can see it has listed a number of those software. And just like I told you, you can see Canva is right here.
Hmm.
Canva is right there. User-friendly tool for creating appealing curriculum materials, including infographic and presentations. It has Vinoid for creating animated videos. Trello
Yeah.
is something that's common with Trello and Asana is common with project management. Google Classroom. I've never heard of Google Classroom if I didn't do this.
I've used it before with one of my professors
Awesome.
while I was in school.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's
a
like a
platform for
digital classroom.
managing.
Yeah.
Now, I'm pretty sure in Nigeria, this is something that we may not have used so much, but I think that's something you want to get familiar with as a teacher.
Yeah.
Google Classroom is there. Um, Microsoft 365, you probably already know how to use that, and then all those stuff. So you don't have to learn all of it, but then again, it gives you an idea of what software you need to have, and having at least five of this on your resume just put you out there to show that you have the skills. So because there are a lot of software coming up, you can't know all the softwares, and your job does not require you to know all the softwares. Most software, most skills, you have 4 or 5 softwares doing the same job. So
Yeah.
if you know one of this, you probably don't need to know the other. Okay. For instance, if you use Microsoft Office very well, you can very well use Google Docs and G Suite. Okay,
Excel.
so
Yeah.
those kind of things, they pretty much complement each other. They're pretty much the same thing and all of that. So my point here is this gives you an idea of what you need to learn to bring you up to the point where you become globally competitive. You
Hmm.
become globally competitive. So I think with this, I think everybody should be able to know the best path forward. Like I said, the process is take what you have. Don't try to be smart and try to, already position yourself. Just take your raw resume. Make sure you put all the things you do daily or you are involved in or all the activities you carry out. Make sure they are all in the resume because all those things will be used later in the future. Tell the AI tool to assess your resume and give you 10 roles that you can fit in or 10 trendy tech roles that your profile can fit in. After that, it will give you a list and rank them in percentage. Then after that, you now pick the roles that you see jump out to you that you feel might be common, and then you now ask it to list those trendy skills and trendy softwares required for that role. It's very simple, and that will give you a very clear direction for your career and open up a world of opportunities for you.
Awesome. Awesome. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's fantastic. I mean, it's
Sorry,
this
can I
is yeah.
can I
Continue.
just butt in? I was talking about a resume, a LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is it. It's very, very, see, it's explore job transitions. So if you put in here, let's put in here school teacher. Let's see what it gives us. School elementary teacher skill over. So it will give you all the overlaps, and then it can show you. You see, it instructional coach, technology teacher, literacy specialist. That's for people who teach English. One of the things you learn when you move outside the country is that a lot of people don't know other languages, English and all
Yeah.
of that. So you could become a literacy specialist, and curriculum coordinator. So it gives you curriculum specialists. You see the match, 84%, and all of that. So it gives you all those testing coordinator and all of that. So this is another great tool you can use. I think all the people who sign up will be able to send these links to them to help them
Yeah.
also to see a way, to get us where we need to. Sorry for butting in. I just wanted to put that out there as a tool.
I mean, that's so cool. I mean, it's part of what we're saying. So now, what we're going to do going forward is we'll put these links possibly in the description box of the video on YouTube, because I know majority of people are watching us from the YouTube channel. Okay, which makes more sense because we're going to reach out, and to more people. And we also encourage that you can also share that. We'll put it there so that you can share the video to other people, so that, of course, we all know how the YouTube algorithm works. It's when you do that, it recommends the video to more people. So just put it on your status, let it go, let people get to see it. We are doing this virtually for free, and these are consultation sessions you pay for. These are sessions you pay
Absolutely.
for. I mean, you pay through your nose. I mean, to be honest, I'm sure if who I'm talking about is watching, he would just be laughing. There was someone that was almost, milking me dry when I came in, into the country, and was trying to, to just make me look so stupid. But when I sat down with myself and, consulting with one or two people, and then I found out that these are things I could do. Then, like what you said the last time, look from the region of known to unknown. Get where
Absolutely.
you are, where you know you have a foothold. Put it from there, pull the ropes from there. When this wherever you have a solid soil and you want to pull a rope, that is where you pin the rope down to the ground. You don't do it on a soil where you're not so sure. So you get something
Absolutely.
solid, something standard, and that is where you are. So what I'm going to say, in closing, is where you are is more than enough to take you to where you want to be. And that's what you
Absolutely.
should understand. So don't look down on yourself or think that, because you're getting rejections. I mean, I'm saying this unequivocally, and I'm saying this, out of a very pure conscience, because I've seen a lot of people not knowing what they want to do over time, and I've interacted with many people just by talking with them. Someone, again, recently, about 2 months ago, got a job just by sitting down with me for like some few minutes, and we talked about it, and I'm like, you don't do this is not your, I mean, you are here, but I don't want to say his career. At the end of the day, he got a job as a data analyst. I told you, I think I told you about it. He
Yes,
got a job
yes, you
as a
did.
data analyst with NHS,
Wow,
with NHS in
fantastic.
the UK. Fantastic job. So I mean, and that is what we say. So we are here to help you, and what we want to do as an organization is to encourage how we can encourage you to get to, make yourself the better version of yourself. And we are looking at pulling this string further from here. So we'll send you emails and send you communications after now to let you see. But over time on our socials, we'll be dropping some videos uh, that that will arise from this conversation. We're dropping some videos and content for you to follow and also refer other people. And then let's make it wider. Let's get more people to work and get more people employed, in very good places. Uche, do you have anything final to say before we round up the event
Nothing
today?
else. I think they should just be very thankful for Elixonn for presenting this. I think it's huge. If I had gotten this knowledge earlier, who knows how high it would have flown. But I mean, it's never too
Yeah.
late. It's never too late. Everybody has a chance for a better future. So um, I think they should reach out to you guys. I mean, you guys have a lot of experts, who who know how to manage stuff like this. So if someone wants something more personal, maybe they could reach out to your organization. But I think they should be very thankful to Elixon for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Uche, for opening your door today. I mean, I'm aware you had to shelve an appointment for you to be here today.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so aware of that. We're not taking this for granted. I mean, Uche is here because he just wants to impact, knowledge, and he has a lot to offer, So if you feel like getting Uche's, personal contact as well, we can send them to you if you need to just talk to him further about this as well. It's also a way to to make him, I mean, to give you more of what he has upstairs, because I know he can get this delivered wholesomely. I want to thank everyone for joining us today on this program. This has been very interesting. It has been engaging. For the first time in since the inception of Election Half Hour, we have broken the rule of the half hour. I'm seeing 1:59. This is 1 hour already. So we are officially Elixon full hour for this edition. So thank you so much, Uche, for coming up on board today.
Yeah.
Thank you, our viewers. Thank you, everyone backstage. I appreciate the team. Thank you, everyone. The team that I work with, they're so amazing. They know what to do at the right time, and it makes this very easy for us to do. So next time we're going to get across to you. You get email communications from us on the next step and what to do next. Thank you so much, Uche, for coming on board.
Thank you.
All right.
Alrighty.
Thank you. God bless you real good. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone. Bye. See you later.